How many relationships have ended in your life because of assumptions? How many relationships that could have been amazing for you never happened because of assumptions? How many things have you lost? How many opportunities have you missed? How many times have assumptions cost you happiness, cost you your peace? And, I used to not think that way because I believed my assumptions. And after going through the healing process and shattering my limiting beliefs and, elevating my mindset and, getting rid of those old wounds, the insecurities and fears, it is like your eyes are just wide open and you're able to see yourself and your life from the outside looking in. It's easy to look into someone else's life and see things that you can't see when you're in it, right? When you're in that bubble, because your fears and your insecurities, your limiting beliefs, they greatly affect how you see things. And the lens is what you see things through. And so once I did that work, I realized how many assumptions I made. I assumed something about someone based upon their appearance, based upon where they lived, based upon, their social status or their income status, things that they liked or didn't like. And I based so many judgments and I believed my assumptions. I assumed I wouldn't get picked. I assumed I wasn't going to be the chosen one. I wouldn't make it. It wouldn't work out. I wouldn't succeed. You get the drift, right? Hello, Janna here. I'm coming to you today from my car. I am at my youngest son's soccer practice. He's part of a MLS competitive soccer league, and I have an hour and a half, and I'm behind on work. And so, for those of you who like to watch me on YouTube, it is just audio this week, and I'm behind and doing a lot of home renovations myself again. Because, I'm just at the point I'm ready to have them done and out of the way. And I don't really want to go into the new year with unfinished projects. So anyways, that being said, I am making the most of my time and trying to be productive. So that is why if I sound a little different, it's not as crisp and clear. It is because I'm not using my fancy equipment, just my laptop and no video. So I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you and your support and your time. Your time is valuable. And for that reason, I don't record very long episodes. And if you're like me, you have a short attention span. And you look at things, you're like, oh, how long is that? Okay, I can give 15 minutes. I can give 20. I can give 12, whatever it is. So I keep my episodes pretty short, typically around 13 to 20 minutes. Give or take. And I like to be short, sweet, and to the point because every topic, there's different ways to talk about it. And, I'm going to have multiple episodes on my journey from healing from chronic Lyme disease and multiple episodes on relationships and narcissism and defense mechanisms and nutrition and how to eat right and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have so many different episodes on each of those topics. So I'm not trying to cover it all in one episode, right? So speaking of, think about how many relationships have ended in your life because of assumptions. How many relationships that could have been amazing for you never happened because of assumptions. How many things have you lost? How many opportunities have you missed? How many times have assumptions cost you happiness, cost you your peace? And, I used to not think that way because I believed my assumptions. And after going through the healing process and shattering my limiting beliefs and, elevating my mindset and, getting rid of those old wounds, the insecurities and fears, it is like your eyes are just wide open and you're able to see yourself and your life from the outside looking in. It's easy to look into someone else's life and see things that you can't see when you're in it, right? When you're in that bubble, because your fears and your insecurities, your limiting beliefs, they greatly affect how you see things, and the lens is what you see things through. And so once I did that work, I realized how many assumptions I made. I assumed something about someone based upon their appearance, based upon where they lived, based upon their social status or their income status, um, things that they liked or didn't like. And I based so many judgments, and I believed my assumptions. I assumed I wouldn't get picked. I assumed I wasn't going to be the chosen one. I wouldn't make it. It wouldn't work out. I wouldn't succeed. You get the drift, right? And I never realized that those assumptions were bullshit. I assumed, and let me teach you something real quick. And I could make it just the end of the episode, but I'm not. But it's pretty short and sweet. Assumptions, my friend, get this through your head. Assumptions are based off of your insecurities and your fears. That's all they are. Assumptions are literally fears and insecurities speaking to you, coming to surface. You are saying, I just assumed. I just assumed. You can ask my family, my kids, how many times I say, I hate assumptions. Now, of course, I'm guilty of them, but not much. But I used to be guilty of them 20 times a day, right? For my whole life until, about 5 years ago. And I never even realized it. I didn't. But I did get that from my mom. Mom, if you're listening, I love you so very much. But you were guilty of, I just assumed. So if my mom is not listening when this airs, she definitely will hear it. And, it's true. And she still does that some. But that came from how she grew up and the environment that she was around. And, my dad did the same thing. And so when you grow up and your environment is, you got two adults, your parents, that make assumptions. I naturally did the same thing. And so did my siblings. And, my sister still does. If you're listening in, I love you too. And, I think that I've been a good influence on them in some ways when it comes to this and opening their eyes. And man, I wish my eyes would have been opened a lot sooner, a long time ago, because I made so many judgments and assumptions that were absolutely false. And I feel bad for that. But, I feel bad when I think about it. But obviously, I let that go. I can't go back and change things. But I can do things different today moving forward. And, I wrote this the other day. How many false assumptions have you been living with? Whether they are about your own life or others, making decisions off of those assumptions that are just completely false. Yet you chose to believe them. You shut the door to knowing the truth. When you make an assumption, you literally shut the door off of ever knowing the truth. Because why would you search for, ask for, look for, inquire about anything that in your mind has already been filed away? I've already figured that out. You didn't figure it out. You assumed it out. Oh, I need to write that down. I just came up with that. You didn't figure anything out. You assumed it out. You didn't figure shit out. You didn't ask the source. You didn't give it a shot. You didn't give it a chance. You didn't give them a chance. You didn't look into it. You didn't take action. You just assumed and you said, boop, boop, that's it. And I'm going to file that away. And you close the door on that potential friendship, potential opportunity. You shut the door on it, And then what happens? We do that in our kids' lives. We assume and we start to take away opportunities and friendships and relationships away from our kids because we make assumptions for them because we don't think what they just don't know. They're too young. They just don't know. Hey, I got 3 kids and almost 10, but 9 and 15 and 17 years old, boy, girl, boy. And trust me, especially with the older 2, they bring new friends around and you're protective as a parent. And I just think about what a difference. I know what a different relationship I would have with my kids right now if I never would have done the work. If I never would have shattered my limiting beliefs 5 years ago, if I never would have healed those wounds, if I never would have chosen to overcome every adversity that came my way that I thought was just woe is me. I'm the victim. I didn't do anything. Why me? It's always me. I could have stayed in that victim mindset, but you got free will, and free will allowed me to say, hey, what happens if I choose different? What's down that road, the real dark road where I don't even see the path? I don't even know what it leads to. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I already know what's going to happen down the victim mindset road. What's over here? So your assumptions, my friends, are killing you when it comes to your peace, your happiness, um, your achievements, the opportunities. It's depriving you of things. You're depriving yourself of them. And it might seem so simple, but it just irks me going back to my mom, who's also my nanny. So I see her every day when I have the kids, Monday through Friday. And I'll be like, well, why didn't you just come get me? Well, why didn't you? Well, I just assumed you were just in the bathroom or you were, you know, um, putting your makeup on. I just assumed you were in your bedroom. And I said, but did you go look and see? Did you call me? Well, no. Well, guess what? My master suite is on the complete opposite side of the house from everything else. And I have a big master suite with the big bathroom suite, and I got everything you could think of in there. I've made it a very nice sanctuary for me. As a mom of 3, you know what I'm talking about. You got to have your space where it's like, hey, I can lock that fucking door and I'm getting some peace. I got a microwave. I got a fridge and freezer. I got a coffee maker. That's where I have my sauna blanket, my EMF blanket, a fucking fireplace. My friends, you name it, I got it. A TV in my bathroom and one in my bedroom. And let me tell you something. I'm not bragging. I'm telling you, I've worked my fucking ass off for that, and I did it my damn self. Okay? Anywho, I also have redone my bedroom and my bathroom, and that's one of the projects I'm working on currently. But my mom, getting off target here, my mom makes assumptions a lot. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I am, but that doesn't mean you can't come get me. Because there's a lot of things, and the reason I told you that is because there's a lot of things I could be doing in there. I do a lot of work from my bedroom and my bathroom and my closet. Oh, I love my closet. I have come up with so many creative things that I've shared with y'all and on my Instagram, my newsletter, that came from me in my closet. There's something about a small private space where I'm just able to just know I'm not going to be bothered. I can't hear anything. There's nothing distracting me, and I can just really just zone in and receive those creative downloads, because you can't just create, right? It's a specific headspace, and you got to get yourself into that headspace. And so anyways, those assumptions have stopped my mom from even going to see what I was doing or if I was available, sending me a text, calling. Well, I just figured. I just assumed. Because in my mom, and I used to be this way too. It's like if you're the mom and you're up, you got to be in the kitchen. You got to be in the kitchen or the dining room, the breakfast area, or you got to be in the laundry room. Okay? That's where you are. You're nowhere else in the house. If you're awake, you better be in the fucking kitchen, in the laundry room, in the fucking dining room. You better be doing something, Miss Betty fucking homemaker. Okay? But don't you dare be doing something else. And also, I meant to tell you, my office is right across from my bedroom. So everything that I do is there. And I'm the opposite of my mom. I used to be like my mom, where it's like, I'm up, I'm awake, I'm here, who needs me? And she's so used to it. She's 72 years old. And she's so used to that, she doesn't know any different. And I'm kind of like, whoa, I'm not that way anymore. After getting out of a 15-year narcissistic abusive marriage and being fucking Stepford wife out the wazoo, I had to find my new balance. I had to find myself again. I had to force myself to wear my fucking PJs as long as I wanted to, past 6 in the morning. Maybe I want to wear them all fucking day. But I had to force myself to, because I realized I had been mentally trained to think what was acceptable, what wasn't acceptable, and I needed to find life on my own terms. I needed to stop assuming. I needed to stop just, I just figured. If you think about it, the first 3 letters of assumed are ass, because it's just shit coming out your ass. You don't fucking know. You don't have a goddamn clue. You assumed. Well, you were back there. Well, great. You don't know what the fuck I was doing back there unless you got fucking x-ray vision. You don't got a clue. I just figured. I hate it. I hate it when people say, I just assumed. Well, nice. You were fucking wrong. Now, those are little bitty assumptions. Let's get into the big ones. What are the big assumptions? Which big assumptions have you made? Huh? You've made assumptions that have ended relationships. There have been marriages that have ended because it was just shitty communication. There were so many assumptions built up because maybe one of those people in the relationship, one of them had a defense mechanism so severe that they made so many fucking assumptions to protect their fragile little fucking baby immature ego. And they never even found out the truth because the assumptions kept them safe. The assumptions made them comfortable. Those assumptions protected them. They assumed based off of their defense mechanism. And my friends, if you can't tell, I got a problem with that because I have been in those kinds of relationships off too recent. And I'm telling you what, man, you can't do that. And if you have a defense mechanism, you know you do. And it hurts your little kitty fragile bitch ego to hear it. But you got to think you're a grown-ass fucking adult. It's time to heal from your shit. Cut the invisible chains. Get off the mama's tit and be a fucking adult. Because you can't be an adult and have a defense mechanism at the same time. I'm sorry, but those two things can't exist together. And people with a defense mechanism, it is really sad to watch their downfall because they will literally go off at the slightest thing because something that you did or said, it triggered them, and they have built this wall, this stone wall they did whenever that wound happened as a child, and they decided to make it to where nothing or no one will ever hurt them again. Nobody will. I don't give a fuck who you are. And it doesn't matter how much they love you. They're never going to love you more than they love protecting themselves. I'm going to have another episode I'm going to record. Let's see what time it is. Yep, right after this. We're going to talk more about the defense mechanisms because I'll tell you what, I'm hot and heavy on that one right now. It's really irking me. I'm tired of it. It is sad to watch the destruction of the defense mechanism in relationships. It is tearing marriages apart, friendships, just business ships, you name it. Because you might not even do anything wrong, and typically you don't. You just did something that triggered that childhood trauma that created it. And that person goes off on you. And they can never recall the situation the same. They can never recall the actual reality because they've worked it in their fucking little bitch-ass minds to protect their little bitch-ass egos. I just can't be around that anymore in my life. There's something about, if you know, you know, and I really don't saying stupid, but if you think about it, there's something with that. If you know, in the sense of when you've done the work, when you've done the healing, you've shattered your limiting beliefs, you've healed your mindset, you know what I'm talking about. You see things so clearly in other people that are unhealed, and it's really hard to be around it unless that person is aware of it and they're doing the work. Like they know. Maybe they need your help. I'm down for that. That's what I do for a living. I help other people. But Janna, you're saying they've got their bitch ass ego. Yeah, I fucking am, and I will to their face. Because it is. And sometimes you just got to pull your head out of your ass. But unfortunately, when it comes to these people with these defense mechanisms that make assumptions that are so grave that it literally ends the fucking relationship, it ends the marriage. And these people might have the most passion. Maybe it was magical once. Maybe it was everything she thought it was going to be finally in her life. But as their lives meshed together, as things happened, his defense mechanism, it became a poison. And she told him it would. And it did. But the more that time went on, the more defensive he got. And it killed the marriage. And what's sad is that when these marriages end, my friends, the person with the defense mechanism has a no fucking clue that what they've been living with in their mind, what they assumed X amount of times about that person and about certain situations that they've lived with and they made decisions based off of, wasn't even fucking close to the reality and to the truth. And sometimes I wish I could just see that person, see things unfold in real time, and see what they did to themselves, see what they lost, who they lost, and the great effect and impact that their defense mechanism has had on their life. Folks, I'm going to end it here. I'm at 22 minutes. And this topic's super passionate for me. And I'm going to record another one right after this. So tune in next week. And hope you have a great week. And stop assuming shit. Okay? Just ask. Talk to you soon.